Hey, it's Astro D, where I love to make learning astrology real simple and easy, and relationships and synastry, that's my specialty. Thank you so much for coming tonight with me, or today, wherever you are in the world, okay, where I'm making this video to talk about synastry in houses in astrology. What is that? How can someone affect your birth chart? And that's what happens when you meet someone else. They come and they impose themselves onto your birth chart. They're like an active transit going on. And if you don't know what synastry is, I'm not going to break down too much what synastry is. Check out my video about synastry, and I break it down exactly what is going on and what happens when the two charts overlay and impose themselves on each other. Right? So what happens? What do houses represent for each people, right? For each person? The house system is pretty much still the same. But when someone else's planets affect, right, your house, then they activate that house for you. So whether it's the first house and they're activating the sense of self, the physical body, your whole life pretty much, depending on what planet is in there. And of course, stay tuned for my series coming up of each planet within houses. I want to break down, each, the sun, moon, Mars, all that stuff, and what they mean when they are in certain houses of another's chart for synastry. So that's going to be really good. But stay tuned for this one so you can really understand how I'm going to break that down. Each planet, right, that we have can affect another person's house system. So the second house is how you affect the other person's money, their resources. They're going to feel that. They're going to feel you coming into their second house, which is where, you're going to start to, their sense of self-worth changes. Your value to them changes, right? We're dealing with value and worth here when we're dealing with the second house. How you guys are handling your own money individually. Do you two bring money to each other? Do you two give each other ideas about what to do with money, right? And then when we're dealing with how we impose on another person's chart, like I said, it feels like a nonstop transit. When that person comes into your life, you feel like it. So let's say they hit into your third house of communication, verbal communication, your cousins, your family, your local community. Right? This person hits that part of your chart, they might get you talking more. They may get you talking about their family members or their close siblings. You know what I mean? It might get you going with that. Somebody hits your fourth house. This is a home interaction. This is where somebody could be interacting with your parent constantly. And I know you had that sometimes when you're dating somebody and they constantly want to hang out with your mom and call your mom and stuff. Usually that's sometimes a fourth house interaction. So when we're learning about the houses in synastry, we have to know exactly what's going on first in our own chart. Where are your houses empty? Because when somebody imposes into an empty house that you have, they create something of a new experience for you. This is an area in your life that's, it's not that it's not important, it's just not as important as the other areas in your chart. So when an empty house gets filled, oh my goodness, now we're really feeling it. Somebody's in your fifth house, because I'm going through all of them. Somebody's in your fifth house, so now they're activating the creativity aspect of you. A lot of times we're dealing with children in that house. Somebody bringing children to you or maybe taking them away in some type of way. Oh, that looks like a rough one there. I don't want to say that. But I'm just saying, bringing the creative element. Some people, may make you want to be more creative when they're hitting into your fifth house. Some people might make you want to be more romantic. They might come off that way to you. So when we're dealing with synastry, it's usually the planet person, right? The planet that goes into the house that's bringing that influence in there. They're penetrating that influence in there. Now you both are going to be feeling it, but it's really the house person, because you're coming inside the house person, right? You're coming inside that house. So now you're dealing with you bringing that energy to them that wasn't there before. That makes sense? Yes. You're bringing the energy to them that wasn't there before, and now you're lighting it up. You're activating it. You're creating a whole new aspect for this person. Somebody's in your sixth house. They're constantly going to be concerned about your daily routines. Depending on what planet is how they affect your daily routines. right? Saturn coming in there, it might slow them down, or you might get more responsible about your daily routines. Sun, I'm going to go over all of those. Don't worry, just stay tuned. Just make sure you like, share, and you subscribe to this channel so you can stay up to date on when I come out with each sign, each planet, and talk about that. So now you got the 7th house. This is where you have someone that you want to connect with. They bring in the others. If you've never thought of teaming up with somebody, when somebody's planets come into your 7th house, you're going to think of how to team up. They're going to activate the team aspect within you. Now, what's going on in there is a whole nother case, right? If you got some funky stuff up in there and somebody comes in and activates it, then they're going to bring highlight on those rough issues. They're going to exacerbate it. We're not even talking about aspects yet. If you want to look at aspects, check out my aspects video. But we're not even talking about aspects in synastry. This is just imposing into the house, coming into part of your chart, right? And you going into a part of theirs. So let's say somebody goes into your 8th. This is a house of shared resources. This is where we're sharing things. This is where, we're dealing with loans. We're dealing with, okay, baby, you know what I'm saying? Let's get a joint bank account. I ain't got no money, but we get a joint bank account and you're going to have some money and we're just going to have that money together. Okay, that's a terrible situation to do any kind of joint with, but that's the 8th house. Sometimes some people bring things in that house where they're constantly giving you things and they're constantly bringing abundance to you. Oh my God, you could just lay up, and have your little sugar daddy in the 8th house and all this good stuff. But this is also a house where somebody could bring you in debt. Okay, this is a house of divorce as well. So this is where somebody's planets coming in there can make you broke. Okay, and can accumulate a lot of debts for you and bring you some losses as well. Dealing with their in-laws could be rough or it could be good. This is the 8th house now. So we're dealing with a lot of things under the surface. This is also that house that if somebody's in, could take you to therapy depending on what planet is in there. We're going to go into which ones can bring the therapy sessions on where you're like, whoa, I need to go see a doctor after talking to you because I feel totally broken, emotionally, and I need to go to an emotional doctor, therapist, or whatever to deal with this stuff. Okay, so that's the issue when it's in the 8th. When it's in the 9th, this is where we're dealing with the higher aspects. A lot of times too in the 9th too, this is where we idolize the other person, maybe a little too high up. You're like my teacher, you're like my guru. And it's like, nah, boo, I'm just me. I'm just regular. But they could have a plan and you could have a planet of theirs into your 9th house, that's activating that, oh man, I'm going to put you on a pedestal. A lot of times the 9th house as well, it means distance. Sometimes this is where the people can have sometimes long distance relationships. This is where the people can date people outside of their culture, or from your partner could be in it from a different country here. When they impose and they come in there, they're also working on that religious nerve. They're also, this is where shared beliefs could possibly be or clash. Right, in the 9th house. 10th house. Okay, I'm getting excited. 10th house now, this is where the social standing, how do they affect your social standing? Do they make it better? Do they help your career? Some people actually, they have some type of authority over our careers and they can help us a lot. If you're, I don't know, if you are in a paralegal and it's the head lawyer or something like that that's in the office, you know what I'm saying? That person might have like Pluto on your MC in your 10th house or something like that. They have a lot of power in the position in which they can affect you. Because these synastry aspects and houses don't, like I said, it doesn't always apply to romantic relationships. It could even apply to, boss, co-worker, so and so and so. So, somebody could have their Pluto on your 10th house and they could just really be able to change. They can make or break you, and that's terrible, ain't it? But they, so they could have that power over your social standing and your recognition. They could change your life as well. So I think that's kind of cool too, somebody that could do that. It's like, can you take me places? Can you make me a celebrity overnight or something like that? Because some people can. All right, so then you got the 11th house. This is the house of friends, social groups, and networks. Sometimes that person might come in and you could have met them in a social group or a social setting. That could be a very important theme in the relationship, friendship. Or maybe that person coming in there is a friend to you. They activate that for you. They activate feelings of friendship and group activities. They make you want to go out and be social depending on what planet is in there. or they can decrease you, make you not really want to be with your friends so much and kind of isolate you a little bit. Or, you know, they could be a friend. They could actually just be your homie and you're dealing with that. So you see them lightening up that area, bringing the drive to making you want to come to the group. And then you got the 12th house. The 12th house, you know, this is where what is hidden, what is unseen from us. And this kind of sucks. You know, me personally, I mean, you could take it two ways. It could be like you have this amazing spiritual experience with this person. It becomes a, you know, like a attuned, deep, you know, karmic, you guys type of relationship where you guys kind of lose yourselves. This person can know the secrets about you that you don't even know about yourself, kind of thing. They could just read you. And depending on what planets are there, it's an awesome thing that this person is like psychic to what you can't see. They can even fight for you in the spiritual world. You know, some people have exes and they have dreams about their problems. And it's like, baby, how you know I was going there? I had a dream about it. And it told me that you need to start juicing. And because it's your heart. And so on. So it's like, whoa, how'd you know that that person might have some planets in your 12th house? Now, on the flip side of that, could be a person that you're dealing with that maybe, you know, might not have the best interest for you. This could be a person that could be so hidden. You can't see their negativity, their Mars in your 12th house. You can't see their aggression towards you as much. They might not like you. They may be a secret hidden enemy for you with negative sharp planets sometimes in the 12th house. Don't let it be a bad aspect. Oh God. You know, you have these tough planets in somebody's 12th house. You are a hidden trip for them. You could be a hidden trip. You could be somebody that, you know, causes issues where, you know, they normally didn't have them before. And now they're just totally blind. And totally they're blind to it. They're totally blind to how you're going into this house. So these are the different examples of what the planets in the houses can do. What do the houses mean? The houses are just the different areas in life that you are living through that the other person can come and affect. And they can change and transform and do all those great things and all that stuff. But the whole point is for you to understand that that is an important aspect in understanding how to do synastry. How do you look at your chart? How to understand you and another partner and how they flow. So if you have an issue and you're not sure if you want to want a different interpretation of what a certain planet in a certain house is, this is my specialty. This is what I do. So make sure that you stick to the channel and you keep looking at the videos. If you want to learn this on your own, keep studying these videos and checking me out, right? Or you have me do a reading for you one time so you get to understand how it works. If you're seeing somebody and you digging them, get the synastry reading. If you want to do a business meeting or business work with somebody, get that synastry reading and make sure that the flow is good. And like I said, you know, understanding what the houses are, sometimes it's kind of cool. It's kind of a good thing when somebody comes into an empty house. We need to experience everything that we can in our lives and we need to grow. So understanding, you know, you have an empty 7th house and somebody comes into your 7th house, you need to learn they are there to teach you that experience, to teach you how to connect with another, to teach you how to be a team player for the moment. You know, accept it, you know, appreciate them for what they're there for in the moment and keep it moving. Keep it moving. So make sure you like, share, and you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you also following me at AstroDee5 on Instagram, because that's where I have all the goodies and I give my little announcements and all that good stuff. And all my information is in the description if you liked it. So, and also stay tuned for my upcoming videos about each planet in each house. How do they affect it? Can't wait. Take care.